And welcome again, and thank you for joining us for our webinar. This evening, our goal is to provide information and resources about careers in the arts and arts education and answer any questions that you may have. All along during this webinar, you are welcome to put some questions that you have in the Q&A. My name is Debbie Yarrow. I am Arts Education Manager at Creative Sonoma, and I'm joined by some really great folks to talk about some really interesting things in the arts and arts education. Our agenda for tonight is talking about the creative economy, about arts education funding, about local programs, financing of that education. We'll have a panel of artists and arts educators, and then a Q&A with you all. So thanks again for joining us this evening.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tara Thompson, and I am the director of Creative Sonoma. I've been with the organization for a little over a year. I have a background in the visual arts. I received my Bachelor's of Fine Arts from Sonoma State University, and then went on to Mills College for my Master's of Fine Arts and studied painting and printmaking. And I found my way to arts administration jobs about 20 years ago or so. I worked for the city of Santa Rosa for many years, managing their arts and culture programs and their public art program. And I'm thrilled to be a part of Creative Sonoma. Creative Sonoma is a division of county government, Sonoma County government, and we are within the Economic Development Department at the County of Sonoma. And so the connection to the creative economy is built into Creative Sonoma's existence, so to speak, because of our placement within the county. So I'm here this evening to tell you a little bit about the creative economy and careers in the arts. So for a long time, I think it was perceived, and maybe it was real, that careers in the arts were seen as an unsustainable or unviable career path. But growth in this area and in the creative economy has opened up lots of new opportunities. So the creative economy consists of economic activity that depends on individuals and organizations using their creativity to drive jobs, revenue, community resources, and cultural engagement. It spans various fields like visual arts, design, media, advertising, fashion, film, music, performing arts, and more. This sector is booming, contributing billions of dollars to global economies each year, and it offers many different career paths. Could you advance the slide, please? There it is. Thank you. So in the United States, it's reported that arts and cultural production accounts for approximately $1.1 trillion and 4.31% of the U.S. economy, contributing over 5 million jobs. In California, the arts and cultural production accounts for almost $3 billion and almost 8% of California's economy, contributing almost 900,000 jobs. The arts and cultural employment in California ranks third among the comparison sectors after retail and construction. And the average salary paid to creative workers in 2023 was about $160,000, which is more than 50% higher than the California average. The Creative Economy Dashboard, which is something that the Otis College of Art and Design created, the link to this dashboard is on Creative Sonoma's website under our education resources, but there's a little screenshot of it here. This is a way for you to look up county by county the creative economy data for the state of California. So some of the jobs available in the arts are visual arts and design. So traditional roles like painters, sculptors, illustrators, but also going into digital arts, graphic design, and even art directors. So with the rise of digital media, there are now more opportunities than ever. For instance, digital illustrators and concept artists are in high demand for video games, animation, and film production. Graphic design is essential in marketing, branding, and web design. Interior designers and fashion designers also thrive in the creative economy. The performing arts has lots of opportunities, including acting, dancing, music performance, but also roles in choreography, directing, and stage management. Behind the scenes, careers in theater production, lighting, sound, set design, and art administration are also vital. If you love writing, creative writing, or being a content creator, offer pathways into publishing, journalism, advertising, and media. In the world of film, TV, and media production, there are numerous careers. Beyond being a director or producer, there are roles in cinematography, editing, animation, and special effects. And with the increase in digital platforms and streaming, there's a constant need for fresh content, leading to growth in jobs such as video editors, sound engineers, and post-production specialists, as well as animation and visual effects. For arts entrepreneurship, for arts entrepreneurship and freelancing, many artists and creatives are choosing this path, which offers flexibility, whether it's starting a design studio, opening an art gallery, or selling handmade products online. This can be a very rewarding path and offers lots of flexibility, and you can sell directly to consumers. There are many creative technologies related to virtual reality and augmented reality, UX and UI design, game design for video games. And then there's art therapy and social impact. This is a field that's really interesting to myself personally and Creative Sonoma in terms of how careers in the arts can focus on social impact, where art is used to help people express themselves, heal, and improve mental well-being. Many artists also venture into arts education, which you'll learn a little bit more about next, teaching their craft at schools, universities, or through workshops. So to wrap things up, the creative economy offers a wealth of viable career options across a wide spectrum of industries. Whether you're interested in traditional fine arts, new media, or technology-driven roles, there are opportunities to combine passion with a sustainable career. The key is to remain adaptable, build a network, and continuously evolve with the industries. Thank you.
I am back. I am Debbie Yarrow again, Arts Education Manager at Creative Sonoma. My career began as a public school music teacher, and my career has led me to work on arts education initiatives for the County of Sonoma. And today I was hoping to share with you a very specific opportunity in arts education. It is surrounding Prop 28, and Prop 28 was an initiative that our California voters approved in the fall of 2022. And it means a lot of opportunity for Sonoma County and for the state of California. Arts and music in schools is another way that it is referred to. It is the largest investment in arts education in the United States. So this is a big deal. It is funding that is guaranteed each and every year for residents of California. It is for public and public charter schools. And the intention of the proposition is to increase current spending on arts education, to expand programming, but not to replace current programs. For Sonoma County, that means about $9 million every year in perpetuity coming to Sonoma County. Statewide, that funding is $800 million to $1 trillion, depending on the Prop 98 funding for the state. And one good thing, several good things about Prop 28, but one specific good thing is there is accountability that comes along with this proposition, in that our school districts will report out how the funding was spent, how many more teachers were hired, how many more students received arts education. And that's a report that is provided to the California Department of Education each and every year. Now, the spending requirements are kind of go down two pathways. If a school district has 500 students or more, they are required to spend 80% on staff, and then the other 20% can be spent on supplies, materials, professional learning, or partnerships. For school districts that are 500 students or less, which in Sonoma County, we have quite a few of those, particularly in our rural areas, that Prop 28 funding can be spent on any kind of arts education expense. One issue that is coming up with Prop 28 is that while it expands current programs, it doesn't support our current arts teachers. And I guess with the good, there are some things to figure out with Prop 28. And so if you are following the news, you might hear of lower enrollment in some of our schools, and therefore some budget cuts. And sometimes that is including our arts teachers, which is something we absolutely do not want. So while we are building the workforce for Prop 28, we're also attending to making sure that arts education in our schools with our current teachers is something that is valued. Creative Sonoma has a new campaign that is out. It's called Teach the Arts. Teaching the arts is a great thing for many, many reasons. And this was a conversation that was had with a group of students in Santa Rosa, talking about how they view their art. And just several of the words that came up: my art is legacy, it's culture, community service, identity, activism, connection, power, resilience, community, all of the things that the arts do. Creative Sonoma worked with several partners in the community to put together a resource page. And it is, the link is at the top of the page, createsonoma.org at Teach the Arts. And we're hoping that you'll explore this page because it offers drop-down menus. If you're a high school student, for example, this drop-down menu offers some options of things that you can do currently, things that you can be thinking about at the end of your high school career. If you are a practicing artist and watching this webinar, there are tips for you. We have some really moving videos, and then even more resources under more tools, and then finally get assistance, and that's an email that goes directly to Creative Sonoma. And to say that this page is available to you to explore. We are changing the resources as they get updated. And again, please use that get assistance if you're not finding the information that you're looking for, if you're not finding the contact you're looking for. But this page, we will continue to update and refresh and use, and is for you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ed Bebout. I'm the executive director for the Center for the Arts at Sonoma State University. I've been with Sonoma State University for 18 years now. Prior to that, I had a fairly lengthy career in the media world. And so it was a lot of fun for me to take some of the skills I had learned and transfer those to educating young people. It's probably been one of the most fulfilling things I've done. And I'm really excited not only by the work Creative Sonoma is doing to promote arts education, but also that the state seems to be catching on now that the arts are important. The fact that they have Prop 28 now to help bolster arts programs in our schools. And the things you learn aren't just a viable career, as you've already seen from, I think, Tara's presentation, but you learn life skills as well, creativity in the workplace, thinking outside of the box, things that will serve you well all throughout your life. What I want to do now is go through a little bit of what we have to offer at Sonoma State University. So first, let's go to the next slide and look at some of the degree programs we have. These degree programs include a Bachelor of Music, Bachelor of Arts in Music, Music Education Concentration, a Studio and Recording Production Certificate, a BA in Art Studio, a BA in Communication and Media Studies, and our newest addition to our degree programs, a BA in Cinematic Arts and Technology. Now, breaking it down to the different programs, we'll go to music first. So music, the Department of Music at Sonoma State University is a place where students can thrive in a dynamic and creative atmosphere. The program here emphasizes high quality performance experiences and applied practical training. Each student's educational goals are guided by knowledgeable and supportive faculty. And our programs prepare students for not only professional careers as performers, but as we mentioned, also K through 12 music educators, studio teachers, and composers. Our students have opportunities to perform in one of the best venues in the world, the Green Music Center, with its Weil Hall and Schroeder Recital Hall. They also can engage with the steady stream of professional guest artists who come to Sonoma State. Moving now to Art Studio. The studio art curriculum, we went one artist. I guess yeah, there we go. Back. Oh, I guess I had them in a different order than I was thinking I had them. Okay, I'll do this one first. Communication and Media Studies. We provide our students with a robust curriculum that allows them to develop media skills in a variety of areas, including video production, writing for the media, public relations, broadcasting, and digital media. Students have the opportunity to focus on specific skills or developing skills across the media spectrum. And our Bachelor of Arts in Cinematic Arts and Technology provides opportunities for students to develop professional skills through hands-on experience in film and media production coursework. Students will produce professional portfolio quality projects through their time in the program to help them prepare for a career in the film and entertainment industry. All right, I think the next one would be talking about our art studio program. Yes, there it is. The studio art curriculum is designed for students to develop the ability to create, analyze, interpret, and evaluate art. Students have the opportunity to explore 2D arts, such as painting, printmaking, and photo media, as well as the 3D arts, such as ceramics and sculpture. They also have the opportunity to develop their skills in an expansive and well-equipped art studio space that I think is unparalleled for a four-year campus of our size. We also have our excellent university art gallery. That gallery not only plays host to several professional shows every year, but it's also open to campus and community alike, and is a venue where budding young artists in the art studio program can have their own work displayed. Quickly about the teaching credentials here, we have a excellent teaching credential program for aspiring instructors at Sonoma State University. And as I previously alluded to, we do have a single subject credential for music. And while we don't currently have single subject credentialing for all of our arts programs, many of our arts degree earners who pursue teaching decide to then get an early childhood or a multi-subject credential so they can increase their employability. What's also great about all of these programs I've just been talking about is that area students who begin their academic journey at Santa Rosa Junior College and then decide to transfer to a four-year school will find out that it's a fairly easy and comfortable transition. So on that note, I'd like to turn the floor over to Carrie Lowen, the Dean of Arts and Humanities at Santa Rosa Junior College.
Thank you, Ed. My name's Carrie Lowen. I'm the Dean of Arts and Humanities at SRJC. My background is similar to Ed's in that I had radio and film production before finishing up my degree. I have an MFA in studio art from San Francisco State University, and I worked for a long time as a professor, and I was chair of the Media Arts and Technology departments at New Mexico Highlands University until I moved back to the Bay Area. So right now I'm in charge of the music department, the theater department, art, film and media arts, and our new virtual production certificate, which we're doing, and degree. So I'm not going to show you any slides because it's basically what we're doing is prepping you to transfer over to Sonoma State or another four-year college. And we also just have associate degrees if you want to do that. We were very excited when Creative Sonoma contacted us to talk about Prop 28 and the pathways that we could do. So in addition to helping you transfer over to Sonoma State, we have come up with an arts education certificate, which is 16 credits. You could either already have your degree or you could have no education at all. It includes 8 credits of educational technology and a little bit of pedagogy, learning how to teach. And then you team that up with 8 credits in either art or music or technical theater or dance to get this certificate, which then we're hoping will give you the chance to get a position as a classified staff person at a K-12 school to kind of get your idea of if you want to be in education. And if you like that, then we would encourage you at some point to go on, continue on to the education program at Sonoma State. And I think that's about it. I'll wait for questions for anything else.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Emily, and I'm an outreach and recruitment counselor for Sonoma State University. Whether you're coming straight from high school or if you go to Santa Rosa Junior College first, I'm the person that you talk to about all your applications. Just to add on to the wonderful programs that Ed Bebout talked about, I do want to mention that we are also a part of the Council of Public Liberal Arts Colleges, which really focuses on more hands-on learning and peer mentorship and one-on-one connections with your professors. So very cool thing about the program. Now, you've heard all about these cool programs at Sonoma State, but how do you get there? Next slide, please. So it depends on if you are coming straight out of high school or if you're coming from a community college. If you're coming straight out of high school, we expect that you will have graduated high school or plan to. And we have a certain set of A through G requirements that you have to meet for the subject matter. You have to pass those with a C or better, and that should give you at least a 2.5 minimum GPA. Now, if you are under the 2.5 GPA, but maybe above a 2.0, then we also rate you on this fun multi-factor scale on the right-hand side for a human scale. Next slide, please. And if you're coming in as a transfer student, then we accept both lower and upper division. It just depends on how many classes you've taken. If you're coming in as a lower division student, you haven't taken as many classes at a higher level. So you have to have a 2.0 GPA. You have to have a C- or better in a written communications course and a math course. And you also have to meet those previous high school requirements. This looks a little bit different if you're going into the nursing program. The nursing program has its own separate ones, but this is for art. And if you're coming in as a fall 2025 or even past that upper division transfer, you have more than 60 units. You still have to meet that 2.0 minimum GPA, but you have to have 30 units of general education. And within those general education units, you have to have the Golden 4, which is that A2 and B4 that I just talked about, but you also have to have the A1 oral communication and A3 critical thinking. Next slide, please. And when you go to Sonoma State, there are a lot of really good housing options. We are #1 in California for housing. And all of this to say, it's a very quick slide, all-inclusive pricing. You are guaranteed housing for your first year at this time. And we have a bunch of fun living communities to learn in. All of these are, again, suite style. So you can have your own room and own bathroom, share it with one other person, or share it with 2 other people. Next slide. And how much does it cost to attend a university? So Sonoma State is a part of the CSU system, which specifically serves California residents. So in-state tuition is about $8,600 for the full year, depending on when you go. These are 2024, 2025 costs. And all of the rest of these numbers are educated guesses. Maybe you want to enroll in the Seawolf bundle and pay a flat rate per unit that you take. And in that case, you'd spend about $850 on books for the full year. And the rest of that is up to you. Maybe you live on campus, maybe you live at home, but you can fully expect that the mandatory registration charges for now will be about $8,600. And the rest depends on your circumstances. Next slide. And how do you pay for these? So there's a lot of different types of aid. When I was going to school, I really wish that people had explained this to me. So we have internal scholarships. Those are scholarships that SSU can give you. Those are scholarships that maybe your art program can give you. And those are also CSU scholarships. There are also external scholarships. So maybe you get one from an art fellowship. And we also have different external scholarships through SRJC and through your high schools. There's also work-study programs, which, if you get a job on campus, they pay you to work there, and that can go towards your schooling. There are stipends if you wanted to do research project or an art project. There's grants that can be both federal or they can also be private. And then there's loans that are also both federal and private. And this QR code will send you to our financial aid office so you can be up to date on all the different scholarships that we have. Go ahead, keep going, please. And now that you've gotten to Sonoma State, you're so excited to be there. What is there to do? We have a lot of fun things on campus outside of your curriculum. We have over 120 different clubs and organizations that range from academic to cultural to professional to sports clubs. And within that, we even plan different events that you can go to outside of clubs through our outdoor resource center, associated students. And then we also have a lot of fun art exhibitions too, and live music that comes to Sonoma State. And that is all for me. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Emily. Well, right now we'd like to do our panel of arts educators, and we have two exceptional choices tonight to help us with this part of the program, Farah McAdam and Matthew Bowker. Thank you both for joining us. I'd like to start with if each of you could share your own personal journey from artists to art educators. And let's start with you, Farah.
Sure, thank you, Ed. Hi, everyone. My name is Farah. Pronouns are she, her. They is welcome. I very fortunately have been around the arts all my life. My parents signed me up for a lot of art practices, classes when I was younger, mostly dance and music, but there were some drawing classes and other art forms as well. Fast forward through the middle school, high school years, I still participated when I could. I narrowed down to dance and music, and then even more so narrowed down into dance during high school because it was dance or a dance team or a band, so I had to pick one. Then I initially pursued my undergraduate in psychology, and then along the way, I decided I really needed to pursue dance in the way that my heart, soul was telling me to. So I double majored at Sonoma State. I made it my mission and goal to pursue dance and more largely the arts postgraduate. And that looked like performing, that looked like a lot of teaching, which we're here to talk all about today. The kind of every nook and cranny that I could find that was dance or arts related, I sought out. One of those was becoming a teaching artist here at the Luther Burbank Center. And then as of recently, I am now the curriculum specialist here at LBC, which in my very shorthand terms feels like the booking agent for all of our teaching artists. And that includes all the forms, dance, visual arts, music, though Matthew can speak more to the music programs that we have, and drama and all of the above. And I really feel that all of my arts exposure from the beginning came full circle so that I could be in this arts world and not only have my own artistic practice, but to be able to understand enough about artists to be able to really take care of them. I feel like that's what my position is to take care of them and to get the arts out to as many students and communities as possible.
Thanks, Farah. Matthew, tell us a little bit about your journey.
Yeah, so I'm surprised I've gotten this far. I'm gonna be completely honest. I was supposed to cut meat with my dad in his butcher shop, and this was not in the real cards. I'm the only musician in my family, but I always did band and an orchestra in school and all that stuff. I picked up my little saxophone in fourth grade, and I kept playing it. I wasn't any real good at it, but I kept being there because I liked being in the arts. It was super cool. And then I got to high school, and I got cut from my high school baseball team. And I'm like, well, I guess I'll do this saxophone thing. And then I got good at it. And then I had the opportunity to teach at an after school program where we went into the elementary schools and taught like little private lessons to the elementary school kids on their band instruments. And that's when I just fell in love with teaching. So when my dad's like, so what do you want to do? You're going to come meet or are you going to go to college? I'm like, I'm going to go to college for music education. So then I landed at Sonoma State, fell in love with it. And I got all the support I could have ever wished for there. Had so many opportunities with the artists that they brought into Sonoma State and the faculty that was there. And then once I graduated, I got into the credential program to finish out the teaching credential. And then I was like, okay, do I want to go straight into teaching or do I want to kind of wait and see what I want to do? So I took like a gap year. So during that year, I did some traveling. I also did some like private lesson teaching stuff and just figuring out if this is what I actually want to do before jumping in. And then Old Adobe School District picked me up and I started teaching third through sixth grade music. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm in. And then I was also doing some work at Maria Carrillo High School at the same time where I student taught. And then the next year, Maria Carrillo was like, here's a 60% job. Do you want it? I'm like, I would love that. And then at the same time, the LBC, the previous director was like, hey, we need a trumpet teacher. Do you want to do it? I'm like, I don't play the trumpet. He's like, you'll figure it out. And thanks to Sonoma State, I had the knowledge to do, and I grew here in the Money Etching program. So then thanks to Prop 28 as well, this year, current year, I'm full-time at Maria Carrillo High School, where I started a mariachi class, thanks to Prop 28. And then the LBC, I've been here for about, I think this is year 2 or 3. And at the LBC, we have many after-school programs that are offered for free for the community. We have students from Cloverdale all the way down to Petaluma and everywhere in between. Most of our students are in our mariachi program. And we also have some in our new folklorico program as well. And we also offer an adult guitar class as well, which is actually happening right now in the other room while I'm doing this with you guys. But that's kind of my story. I'm surprised I'm still here, but I'm loving every second. I'm happy I'm not cutting meat every day and smelling like meat all day.
Thank you, Matthew. That's great. Now, we want to talk a little bit about your experiences, both you and Farah. You know, we heard a little bit earlier about the creative economy, and certainly that indicates that there are jobs out there, both in education and in non-education fields that involve the creative arts. What I want to know from the two of you, though, besides the being able to make a living from this, what does it bring to you personally, going from one-time students to now working with students?
I can take it. I love it going from being the student to teaching because it's like, okay, I was there pretty recently. I was there. I'm like, I know what you're going through, and it helps me being okay. Here's a path that helped me. It either worked for them, it won't work for them, but it's like, okay, here's something that helped me. Okay, it just didn't work for you. Here's another way, and just seeing them find their path and finding their creative outlet too, instead of just being like, here's how it's done. Period. It's like, okay, here's that it works for me, but it doesn't work for you type situations. So just finding that spark one in the students that we're teaching, but also finding a way to help them figure out things because the arts is like the only thing that uses your entire brain. So like you can develop, because I work with students that are in the development stage. So the arts helps them so much for every other step in life that they're going to have.
How about you, Farah?
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm lucky in the sense that the teaching energy has always been like I think a part of me. Before I even realized it, I was I guess this sounds super like goody two shoes, but like if a teacher needed a teaching assistant for like a dance class, or if there was any sort of training like mentor helping out the little ones for their summer camp, I was there. I don't even really remember asking, but I seem to have been there, and that's given me so many teaching skills. But I guess I've always really gravitated to it. I love what the arts has done for me. I couldn't imagine life without it. And there's a lot that I've like I loved that. I wish that I want to pass on to students to say like, oh, this is the experience I had. I want you to have what I had because it changed my life. And there's also ways where I'm like, oh, I don't want that to ever happen to anybody else again through the arts or through life. And like let me like remix it a little bit so that I can give you what I got and also what I didn't get, and specifically through arts. And I think the way that we as humans operate best is when we're sharing with each other, and that's what teaching essentially is like looking out for each other and sharing what you know. And the more that we can share about the arts and its importance, the better. I find it so rewarding.
That's very important, something you touched upon there, about the fact that you're taking your own personal experiences and sharing them. I think that's great.
I've got a follow-up question for Matthew. You mentioned something that intrigued me. You said something about how learning the arts gave you some additional skills, and I wonder if you can go a little deeper into that.
Yeah, so through the arts, because I'm taking the music lens, through music, you're learning leadership skills, you're learning communication skills, you're learning all of these, just how to like human a little bit and all that stuff. So we people don't realize what happens in an arts classroom and the amount of impact it has on the development of those students. People are just like, oh, they're just drawing stuff. It's like, no, 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 hold up. Take a step back. Look at what they're actually doing. Look at what they're unlocking in their brains, that they're developing the stuff that you can't see. So that's why it always kind of pains me when they make budget cuts, and it's usually always the arts. But it's like that's the one thing that really unlocks everything and really develops you as people. That's why like every culture throughout Stone Age all the way to now, art has always been there. And that's why I think really why we are the way we are today is because we've always had the arts.
I was talking to an instructor in the art program here at Sonoma State the other day, and this person was saying to me, the great thing is not only being able to share what we know with students, but it also gives us an avenue to continue to pursue our own artistic vision. Do you both find that being the case for you?
Very much so. I think my favorite moments have been I mean I'm a faculty at SSU right now. Ed and I have worked together quite a bit, and my most favorite moments that are not in the classroom are when I get to set work on the students, right? Which is both an educational, which is literally a course, and also a chance for me to practice my artistic practice. That was redundant, but to have those worlds combine, and like you can't separate the art and the education with art. So it's always happening all the time in those moments where it really you can really show that to people. It's so hard to see in the arts. Matthew touched on it. Like people don't understand how much goes into any art practice, right? And even with media, I know you Ed are in the communications, right? And like anything behind a marketing pitch and the graphic design and all the things to package together for people to consume like that, the amount of hours that people invest to bring you that thing that you can consume just like that. Yeah, people don't know how essential it is, and it starts with in the schools or any after school programs or any programs where you can expose this to people as young as possible, including in the schools with Prop 28.
Any thoughts on that, Matt?
Yeah, because as an artist, like that's why I kind of wanted to get into what I am doing today, like teaching the mariachi. I've always wanted to be in a mariachi myself, and I always grew up with the music around me and all that stuff, and now I finally get to do it. And it's just creating opportunities for students that, I didn't have, because when are you ever going to have, hey, mariachi is an option to take as a class, or mariachi is an option to go to an after school program. Like this is you can take this like that's such a rare thing that we need to kind of have more of, because when I first got into education, it's like, okay, here's the traditional band orchestra stuff, you learn about this and this. Well, why can't you learn about Mexican composers? Why can't you learn about all these other underrepresented composers? It's the same topics that you're touching in these other music that's been played for like 40 years. So I've always taken the lens of, okay, how can I teach the same thing but through fresh and unique kind of a lens, right? So that's why when I teach the mariachi class at Maria Carrillo High School, it's like 5% Mexican, the rest of it's everybody else under the sun. So I think we have the most diverse mariachi in the state of California for sure. Like we have like these kids that have no experience with mariachi. It's like, hey, I kind of want to sing. I'm like, okay, sing this Vicente Fernandez song. Okay, and they kill it, and they're like, I never thought I'd be able to do that type of situation. So just opening up the door for opportunities, not just for people that look like me, but people that, you know, just want to be exposed to it, but are too scared to kind of take the step because they're not that community, you know?
Is there any particular advice either of you would give to a student, you know, maybe somebody watching this program right now who's trying to decide, like, oh, I really like the arts. It's really where my heart is, but you know, maybe mom and dad might like me to be a business major, or you know, something else that sounds more practical, you know, and are certainly fine majors, but this is where their heart is. What would you tell them?
It's hard.
Do it. Do
Do
it.
it. I think the best and worst answer is that there is no one path. There is no correct, straight answer or path to navigating the arts. Um, I think, yeah, I think no matter what, if the arts are important to you, keep it as something for yourself. And then if you do want to make a, let's say, a life from it, or you want to make it a career, honestly, you can also do the business major. You could do your arts major and your business major. I have had many friends who have done that, and I wish I had taken a business class or two, especially if you are looking to be a freelancer in any way. If you're working from contract to contract, if you are like our teaching artists here at Luther Burbank are, I think most of all of them are part-time because they also teach at other places. They also have their own studio. They also have many their hands are like all over the art pockets up here in Sonoma County and larger. Um, Let me circle back. Like there's no one right answer. If you want it, go get it. Be ready to work hard for it. It's not going to come easy, but it's going to be so rewarding. Yes, and you can always like it will ebb and flow. So don't be afraid. Don't fear like it. Don't feel like it's failure if you have all these arts opportunities and then they kind of lay low for a little bit. That doesn't make you any less of an artist, and that doesn't mean you aren't still planting the seeds for the arts career that you are looking for.
You know, one thing I would add to that is a business major certainly is useful for an artist if you have some of those classes. But if you are maybe science is something that you're very interested in and you also are interested in the arts, medical schools love people that have a background in arts and science. So that's another way to do it. But getting back to kind of what we're talking about here, I'm kind of interested if you have any advice for people who are looking at becoming teachers in K-12. What kind of advice would you give them, and what are the things that you find really rewarding about the job?
It's not going to be easy, but it's the most rewarding thing you're going to do because you spend more time with those students than their actual parents do because you're with them every day from whatever to whatever. You're definitely going to work some long hours. Like my day to day working two jobs. I start at 7:30 in the morning for jazz band, and I don't end at LBC until like if it's a teaching night, not until like 9. So like that's my day, and it's full teaching. But if I didn't love what I did, then I wouldn't do it, right? Like to me, that's just a normal day. Like that's cool. But in the specific K through 12, you take them from the morning to the afternoon. You take them through all these steps in life because you see them so much. And normally the arts classroom is going to be the safe space, and it's going to be the place where you get to see them open up more than like their English teacher or their math teacher. But I think it's the most rewarding thing you can do, but it also is the most difficult thing you can do as well. Uh, we're superheroes, I think. And I feel like we don't get enough credit. Like, oh, you're just teachers. It's like, no, hold up. you send your kids to us and you get the little vacation kind of situation. It's like we do so much that people don't see and they kind of just disregard a little bit, but it's the most rewarding thing you're going to see, and you're going to see these students changing under your teaching, which is pretty cool.
All right. Well, Matthew and Farah, thank you very much for sharing some of your perspective, and I'm glad that you are so passionate about what you do. I particularly I know that because, as Farah mentioned, I've worked with her a lot, and she just exudes passion at all times, and it's great to see that. I'm going to toss it back to Debbie now for I guess the Q&A portion of our discussion.
Is chock full of resources. That Teach the Arts page in particular has links that folks tonight shared some information, and those resources again are being updated consistently. And then our email address. Don't hesitate to send an email if you're stuck, if you have questions, however we can help you get to your next step. So thank you again for joining us this evening, and we wish you the best.